If you loved Old-Fashioned Cupcake, then you will enjoy 10 Things I Want to Do Before I Turn 40. For me personally, Old-Fashioned Cupcake has a place in my heart. I love BLs that feature older couples. Like, What Did You Eat Yesterday? That really surprised me. They didn't even have a kiss, but it was for me, and it is still for me quite special. Same with Old-Fashioned Cupcake, and now 10 Things I Want to Do Before I Turn 40. I think for me, when this came out, we were all still in the revenge love fucking haze, and still am a little bit, because every time I go on my Twitter, it's still filled with fan edits, behind the scenes clips of revenge love. Yeah, it did steal the thunder of pretty much everything that was out, regardless of how good it is, because I was trying to watch 10 Things I Want to Do Before I Turned 40 and Desire. I think I also managed to watch Depth of Field while at the same time watching Revenge Love. And then at one point I had to stop because Revenge Love was just making me compare when it's completely two different vibes. And it was kind of ruining other shows for me as well, because I would go from feeling all these emotions while watching Revenge Love to then watching Desire and just being like, bro, what are you doing? Like, there's nothing wrong with Desire. On any other month, if Desire came out and Revenge Love wasn't out at the same time, I would be like, oh my god, Desire is amazing. I mean, it's our first on-screen Alpha, Beta, Omega verse. But because of the depth of feeling that were stirred in a lot of us when we were watching Revenge Love, there were times where it was like, oh, is that it? And I'm like, no, Desire's a good show. All these other shows are amazing. It's just a case of watch Revenge Love, finish that, and then come back to these other shows and give them proper space. So that's what I ended up doing. I need to scrub my algorithm somehow so it's not chock full of Revenge Love stuff, because I swear even my bookmarks have been taken over by Revenge Love, because T and Swooning and ZU are fucking gorgeous. I watched Revenge Love and then 10 Things I Want to Do Before I Turned 40 at the same time until I kind of decided to give it space. I'm happy to report that I still fell in love with this show, and I'm definitely going to rewatch it again. So let's get into the things that I loved about this show. The actor who plays Keishi is called Shoji Kohei, and he is gorgeous. He's tall. He's got full lips. I was like, yeah, you got the main lead there. And then Kazuma Shunsuke, who plays Tojo, is so freakishly cute. And this motherfucker's older than Kohei. Kazuma Shunsuke is, wait a goddamn minute, he's 42. He's 42. And Kohei is 25. I need society to release us. Why do actors have to be that young though? Fuck it out. To be fair, I do love me a little age gap. Keishi, the younger character, is fucking gorgeous. And Tojo, the older one, is very short, but very cute. He literally does look like a little sparrow. And just from the first scenes, you can tell why Keishi would fall in love with his manager, Tojo. The standout moment for me in the first scene was when Keishi finds his boss, Tojo, poring over a list. And then he actually takes a picture of the list and then looks through it. And then he's like, oh, I'm going to do it with you. And obviously Tojo, being gay as fuck, he's like, what? Like, this good-looking, popular, tall, young motherfucker wants to do a kind of romantic list with me? What? And then I did love that he came out and he was like, yeah, I'm like you, I'm gay. And then gave him a back hug. Oh my god. Can you imagine being Tojo, the gorgeous, hot, popular guy in the office, coming on to you? Saying, let me do your date things with you. Oh my god, he is so lucky, that motherfucker. The back hug for me was it. The fact that Keishi's actors is fine as fuck. I was like, yeah, in the way that I like. And then also that Tojo, the older character, is so cute. Like those little eyes when he smiles, and he's tiny as well. Ugh, I think they did the casting really well for this one. I'm very pleased. And also, the younger one, Keishi, is the top in this relationship, you know, because Tojo's more like unsure of himself. He hadn't dated for like 10 years. So I was like, okay. Another standout for me is that Keishi, the younger character, gave room to Tojo to like try and figure stuff out himself, but just kind of was there with him. And I just thought, oh my God, that's so cute. Like, you know, he doesn't rush him. He doesn't act like he knows everything. He doesn't let the whole boss subordinate thing get in his way. He just liked Tojo and kind of basically fell in love with him ages ago, way before Tojo even knew, like, which is why he got him this little plushie. And then obviously they went to the sea park as well at episode 3, and I thought that was so cute. I do love myself a rainy day date, if you will. So obviously they went to the sea park, and then Keishi was making fun of Tojo. Oh my God, you look like someone's dad. And I was just like, Keishi, like, bro, you're the one who's basically forced your way into his little date list. Clearly you have a dad kink. They ended up getting caught up in the rain and they went to a little sheltered place. Keishi took his glasses off and he was all wet. Tojo was also wet, and he just saw Keishi for the first time without his glasses, and they did the whole close-up thing, and I was just like, oh my God. Kohei, the actor who plays Keishi, fucking gorgeous. Those full lips, oh my God. And his face, ugh. Whoever casted him knew what they were doing. Thank you very much. And I feel like I love the tousled, sort of like almost light brownish reddish hair. That was a really good styling choice as well. I was really kind of a little bit disappointed that they didn't kiss then, because Tojo, the older man in this coupling, he was ready and Kohei came all close and stuff. And then afterwards it was like, oh, no, like here's your handkerchief, like dry yourself off first. So I thought that was cute. And then there was a whole episode where Tojo got jealous of Keishi's ex-college friend / crush. And then towards the end of the episode, there was a whole confession scene. That was kind of a confession, but it wasn't the confession. But it was cute. And I was like, oh my God. I liked how he just kind of told him the whole story. Keishi told Tojo the story of, hey, like this guy, it's not like that. Because he noticed that Tojo was basically avoiding him kind of sort of and trying to do the list by himself. And then afterwards Tojo was all like, you know, reassured, and I was like, ugh, Japanese BLs know how to do emotional stuff in the most realistic way. And then of course in episode 5, Tojo met Keishi's sisters, so the girls he had seen him with in episode 1, and thought, oh my God, of course you're popular outside and you have 2 girls like hanging off your arm. But anyway, episode 5, he meets Keishi's sisters, and then we get a little backstory on how Keishi came to have feelings for his boss, Tojo. But I just thought that was really, really well done. And then on the bridge, they kind of had another little mini confession scene. And I was like, oh my God, that's so cute. He helped him pick out outfits that made him look good. I was like, yes, queen, yes. Episode 6, they went to the department store to buy a pillow, and then we're looking at couple mugs as well. You lot are just so domesticated. Like already, Keishi's like, I need to move in. You're mine, I'm yours. We are going to be a thing. And he was foreshadowing everything. And I just love that. I could tell like Keishi has a secure attachment style, I think, whereas Tojo's like, oh my God, how could you like me? And I'm just like, how could you not? You're so cute and so sweet and such a nice boss to everyone. Episode 8 focused on another character, and I was like, why are you wasting time on this? But I didn't mind it too much. I thought it was cute. Episode 8 was mostly not even about them two. And then episode 9, they had a whole conflict arc, and I thought that was well done, but I didn't like it because I was like, Keishi was all out here trying to just be with him and trying to protect his reputation as well, because obviously he's the boss and stuff, and he said some pretty fucking awful things to just cover it up in the moment when one of their colleagues found them hanging out together on the weekend. Tojo just took it personally, took what Keishi said as fact, that basically, oh, I'm not gay, and da-da-da-da. That dragged for like 2 fucking episodes, almost 3, where they weren't together. And I was like, yeah, you know, you could have not done that. Like 1 episode would have been enough for them being out of sorts, or 1.5 episodes. It was too much. However, not the end of the world. I think for the final episode that came out last Saturday, I just loved how Kohei acted that out with Keishi after Tojo, the older one, finally decided to stop being so difficult and insecure and actually accept that Keishi liked him Tojo ran. They did the whole like running to your love before like he actually does the thing that you've been telling him to do, which is stay the fuck away from you. I'm really, really happy that they had that little scene because I do love it actually. It was quite full on for a confession scene because Tojo proper like shed everything. Keishi was so undone. He was sobbing, hanging on to Tojo, proper hugging him tight, and they were out in some town square or something. And he was like, I don't give a fuck, you know, I like you. I mean, they didn't say those words, but you know, you get the gist. And then afterwards, they had their kiss scene somewhere private, of course. It was at home and they were just sat in front of the sofa. Kazama, you're so fucking lucky you get to kiss Shoji, Kohei, because his lips just kept distracting me the entire show. He's so kissable though. Oh. Tojo and Keishi kissed in the final episode and it was well done. It was really, really well done. That is all. Those are my comments for 10 things I want to do before I turn 40. And I think you should definitely go and watch it if you haven't started yet. All right, guys. Love you. Bye, 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 bye.